Working Draft Beer Company. How we doing, everybody? I said Working Draft Beer Company. How we doing, y'all? We got a great show tonight. We got comics from all over. We got good beer. We got good food. We got good jokes. All right, Working Draft. Are you guys ready to get this show moving? Good. We got a fantastic lineup of comics. The first one here, she's all the way from Chicago. She's got a podcast called The Witty Committee. Make some noise for Courtney Zelazny.
All right, Madison Comedy Week. I am so excited to see you here. I am one of the high schoolers who was bullying him earlier this week. Yeah, he deserved it. No, I am from Chicago, like he mentioned. Anybody here know any pervasive stereotypes about Chicago? Feel free to shout them out. Loud, poor, fit. All right, awesome. Another stereotype about Chicago you might not know too intimately is that Chicago has a stereotype for being really segregated, right? Like north side, south side, black, white, Mexican, Polish, etc. I'm here to prove to you today that Chicago, not that segregated, all right? Because I am Irish, Italian, Polish, and Mexican. Ooh, you didn't see that one coming. Unless you saw my ass as I was walking up here. Exactly. No, I am 1/4 Mexican, which counts. I checked when I was submitting all of my scholarship forms for college. 1/4, or as some would say, un peso. Not me, though. I took French. No, I am Mexican, but the reason why I look like this is because my mother is so white. My mom is so white that when she had myself and my 2 siblings, her 3 children on this earth, she gave us all the same initials so she could, quote, get a good deal on monogramming. Yeah, of course, no one thought to tell her that you can save the most money on monogramming by not monogramming at all. Non-starter for her. No, I know that I don't look very stereotypically Mexican, whatever that may mean to you. What it means to me is whether or not my younger brother gets arrested for possession of marijuana is entirely dependent on if he shaved his mustache that day. Me too. Am I right, ladies? Yeah? No, I grew up in Connecticut, actually, which is a place that is known for far... Oh, are you also from Connecticut? Then you would absolutely know that Connecticut is a place that's known far more for its monograms than it is for its Mexican people. No, growing up, I only ever heard about Mexico in the context of going there for spring break, right? It was always these girls I'd go to middle school and high school with who would tell me, Courtney, if you ever go to Mexico for spring break, because why else would you go? They'd say, be careful about drinking the water because of Montezuma's revenge. We all know about Montezuma's revenge here? Okay, don't be shy. It's okay. We're all friends. We all have tummy trouble. No, Montezuma's revenge, for those of you who are uninitiated, is when they tell you to be careful about drinking the water in Mexico because the bacteria could give you potential digestive issues, right? He's got it right now. He's got to go. But it would always come from these girls who would then proceed to post pictures of themselves on Instagram double-fisting frozen margaritas. And it begs the question, of course, like, is it the water that's the problem, or is it the fact that this is the first time you're eating seasoned food in your life, Karen? Because if we're being honest, there's really only one ice us Mexicans need to be concerned about. Okay, not running for Democrat here. Perfect, great. No, that joke's a little bit of a political sleeper. It's fine. Awesome. Do we know what the word situationship means? Aw, you're sad. You can admit it. Like I said, we're all friends. Now, for those of you who are in happy, committed relationships or are old, it might edify it for you to know that, like, I read on Twitter that the word situationship is what the sad person in the situationship calls it. The other person doesn't call it anything at all. Yeah. It might make you feel better to know that when I was in college, I was in a situationship for 5 years. I know, it was really pitiful. Especially because I was in college for 4 years. I never know if it's better or worse to say that that 5th year of my 5th year senior was in a situationship, right? Like, it wasn't the year before college and then going into college, it was the year after. Like, I learned everything I needed to know for an undergraduate degree in English literature, but I did not learn my lesson, all right? I learned nothing about how to interact with people. No, I thought that the reason why, he was never my date to my sorority formal all 4 years was because he was shy. I was doing, like, Paris 2024 level mental gymnastics in order to be like, Okay, well, obviously the reason why we've never made eye contact outside of the dorm room is because, he's an introvert, right? Like, he wears horn rim glasses and sweaters with elbow patches. Like, he reads a lot of Tolkien, and so then I read a lot of Tolkien and watched all the movies and the Wikipedia pages. Yeah, no, I really got in deep there. And that's how I justified it to myself. I went to school in Washington, D.C., and after I graduated, I moved out of our college town, but I had to come back the summer after to be a bridesmaid at my sorority sister's wedding, and he was still living there, and I was like, hey, how would you like to have sex in a bed that's not a twin size? And he said yes. And so I texted him the address of the hotel room that my mom paid for. And I was like, cool, meet me here after the rehearsal dinner. So I go to the rehearsal dinner, all right? I get drunk on free alcohol. I come back to the hotel, and he's sitting there in the hotel lobby waiting for me, and he's reading a book. Sexy, right? No one ever agrees with me that that's sexy, but before you pity me, just know that there's a lot of other stuff he could have been doing. Like, he could have been sitting at the hotel bar, like, talking to some other bitch, or, like, not there. It's a real possibility. And so, no, he was there, and he was reading a book, and so I walk up to him, and I say, let's go upstairs. And so then we do go upstairs, and we get upstairs to that hotel room that my mother paid for. I take one look at him, and he takes one look at me, and he goes, do you mind if I finish this chapter? Yeah, that bruised the ego just a skosh, all right? That one hurt a little bit. But clearly I'm over it, because that was 7 years ago, and that friend has a baby now. So no, I'm over it, and this is gonna sound like a non sequitur, but are any of y'all on the side of TikTok where your For You page is showing you videos about the signs and symptoms of undiagnosed adult autism? Okay, you're laughing a little bit, so I'm glad it's not just me and the other comics in the back, because we've been getting that a lot. And so I sent one of those videos to my friend whose wedding it was, and I was like, hey, based on this video, do you think that he has undiagnosed adult autism? And she goes, no, Courtney, I don't think he has undiagnosed adult autism. And some of you are tightening up because you think that the next thing that my dear friend Claire, whose baby I'm the godmother of, is gonna say is, I think that you have undiagnosed adult autism, Courtney. But no, Madison Comedy Week, that is not what she says. She says, he does not like you. And for some reason, that was more difficult for me to swallow. I know what the reason is. The reason is that I have horrible attachment issues. I'm working on them, though. Not with therapy, because I'm 27 years old, so I'm not allowed to go to therapy anymore. They turn off that service for you once you turn 26. Did you know that? It's true. It's true. My parents told me. They said that you're not allowed to go anymore. I've been working on it, but I think I might be overcompensating. You guys let me know if you think I'm overcompensating. So I started seeing this guy. We met on Hinge. For the sake of anonymity, let's say his name is Matt. His name is Matt, but they're all named Matt, so the odds are pretty good you won't know which one it is. But we started seeing each other, in July, and we're doing a very casual thing, right? Like we're being really mature. We're not putting labels on it because like boyfriend is so juvenile and immature, right? And so instead, what we do is I'm allowed to date other people, and he can ask me about it, and then he ceases to exist once I close the door and can no longer see him, like the object permanence thing the babies have. Because my mind can't handle the idea of him knowing the touch of another woman. And so he was over at my apartment for like the second time ever. My apartment's like my sanctuary. And he was asking me, how's the dating apps going? And I'm telling him, I have this new rule about dating apps where I no longer give my phone number out to someone unless we've been on one successful in-person date. Right? I was like, it's a safety issue because I'm a single woman who lives by herself in Chicago, a very dangerous place. Plus, like, I'm a semi-public figure as a stand-up comedian in Chicago. So you can learn a lot of information about someone if you have their name and their phone number. And he's like, you're so right. Plus, I love the idea of getting to know someone over the course of dates, like talking to them and hearing about their stories directly from them instead of researching them on the internet. He's like, I don't even know your last name. What? What do you mean you don't know my last name? You were inside of me yesterday. What do you mean you don't know my last name? Okay, I know all of your siblings' names. What do you mean you don't know my last name? Okay, this is a doorman building. You don't know my last name? How the hell did you get up here? Okay, did you just walk up to the front desk and say, hey, I'm here to see that loud bitch in 403, and they just let you in? That's a security concern. But I didn't say any of that. No, instead what I did is I had sex with him. I didn't know what else to do, okay? So I had sex with him, and then the next day he leaves, and I don't text him. I know I said we're all friends here, so I can't lie to you. That's not true. I did text him. I sent him a song. Okay, you know what? In my defense, it's not like I was like, hey, I'm thinking of you and that really awkward thing that happened. Here's a song. He asked me the name of the song that was playing when we were having that confrontation, because I've got really good taste in music, okay? Just really bad taste in men. And so I send him that song, but then I don't text him for the rest of the day. And then instead what I do is I'm scream singing in my shower listening to Olivia Rodrigo, okay? Not one of the songs I sent him. It's fine. But then the next day after that, I send him a text. And I won't read you the long, long notes app message that I draft for it, but I'll give you the TLDR, which is basically, okay, look, I'm not happy with how that went down. I don't need you to respect me, but I need to respect myself. Not a strong start, Courtney. So I sent that to him, and he goes, thank you so much for letting me know. It was never my intention to hurt your feelings. I really like you, and I'd like to continue seeing you. In the future, if this is to happen, I would appreciate it if we could have these sorts of conversations in person. I'm like, first of all, I don't know how this could possibly happen again in the future. What are you going to do, bonk your head and forget my last name again? But no, I'm like, I don't say any of that either. I instead say, I like you too, but I think I just need some space. And he goes, I totally understand. Look, I'm going out of town for the holiday weekend. Why don't I reach back out to you when I'm back in town? And you guys, that was Thanksgiving. Do you guys think he's mad at me? I think he might be mad at me. Are you guys mad at me? Because I'm a little disappointed in myself. Speaking of disappointed in me, are any of y'all siblings? Okay, cool. Do you think you're your parents' favorite child? Maybe. That's not a yes. It's not a yes. She's not. It's okay. I thought for the longest time that I was my parents' favorite child. The first time that I wasn't should have been the fact that my parents kept trying after me. Yeah, oldest of 3 over here. I don't know if you could tell. But no, I for the longest time thought I was my parents' favorite child because on paper I feel like I should be, right? Like I'll give you a couple of examples. Outside of stand-up comedy, I have a salaried job with a 401k and health benefits. My younger brother, he works in commercial real estate sales, so whether or not he makes any money is entirely dependent on if he sells like an office park or a Starbucks or something else that nobody wants, right? So he doesn't make any money. Or I live in Chicago where my parents also live, so I get to see them all the time. It's like a brown parent's dream. And so I go over to their house and I say, hey, I'm out of toilet paper. Oh wait, you're also out of toilet paper. We need to go to Costco. And my brother, he lives in Atlanta. My sister, she lives in Pennsylvania. And so I get to see them all the time. And that's another plus in the Courtney column. Or I've never been arrested for underage drinking. Or 2 weeks later, arrested for underage drinking again. All right, for all those reasons and more, I feel like I should be my parents' favorite child, but I realized a couple years ago that that might not be the case. We know about the 5 love languages, right? Like acts of service and quality time. My dad's love language is gift giving. It'd be weird if it was physical touch. But for most people, if your love language is gift giving, how much money they spend on you or how many gifts they give you is not directly correlated with how much they love you. Unless you are my father, in which case it absolutely 100% is. He's power ranking us on a pyramid like dance moms. But 2 years ago, he decided that he was going to start giving us gifts for his birthday. He's like, well, what do you get for the man who has everything, right? Because he's so old at this point, so he has everything he needs, and he'd rather not make more returns. And so for his birthday 2 years ago, he gave my brother a check for $1,000. Ooh. He was like, Cole, I believe in you and you pursuing your dream of commercial real estate sales, so use this money to buy yourself a new suit or like a ticket to a business conference for networking or something, because I already pay your rent and your credit card bill and your phone bill and your bail again, dude, what the hell? For that same birthday, my father gave me a pen. A really nice pen, okay? It was a Mont Blanc pen. That's French for really fancy pen. It's a $400 pen, which is 100 times too expensive for even the nicest pen. And some of you might be thinking, Courtney, you're a comedian. That pen is a metaphor. You know what? It's a symbol that he supports you in your dreams as you write your jokes, as you tell your stories. And I buy that. I was an English major, so I get that. But I'm also thinking to myself, you know what, Courtney? When my father is long gone and past, God rest his soul, probably pretty soon, he's 59 now, he anticipates that I'll use that pen to write $1,000 checks for my good-for-nothing brother. And I don't know what's worse, the fact that I'm 27, like I said, so I don't really know how to write a check. Or the fact that I've already lost that pen. But that was 2 years ago, right? So, like, what did he get me last year for his birthday? He was like, you know what, Courtney, I'm tired of all my lacrosse buddies sending me clips of videos of you saying what a bad dad I am. So, instead, I'm going to get you all the same gift for my birthday. And again, I'm very grateful for receiving gifts for somebody else's birthday. Don't get me wrong. But so for that birthday, he gave us all the same thing, which was a $500 Southwest Airlines gift card. Nice. Thank you, Dad. We're going to disregard the fact that Midway's sort of a shit-tier airport and it's the only place in Chicago that flies Southwest. But some of you might perhaps recall that I am the only sibling of the three of us who lives in Chicago, where my parents also live. My parents are basically saying, Cole, Caitlin, we miss you so much. Please come visit us. Money's no object. My parents want me to go away. And maybe some of you do too. My name is Courtney Zelazny. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Courtney, y'all. Thank you all for coming. Have a fantastic rest of your night, and we'll see you back here again soon.